So liabilities of a member of a company depends upon the nature of the company. When it is a company limited by liability, limited liability, company limited by guarantee, or unlimited companies. So every member of a such company is liable for all debts contracted by the company during the period when he was a member and he or she was a member. And the company being a separate legal entity, no member shareholders can proceed with against directly by the payments of creditors, and the liability like a partnership firm is not joint and several. Then come to the company limited by guarantee. Every member is liable to contribute to the extent of the amount guaranteed by him, which is given in the liability clause of memorandum, point number third. When the case of company limited by shares, the majority of companies belonging to this category, in this case of company, the liability of members limited to the amount unpaid on the shares held by him. If he has paid full amount in shares, his liability is nil. So company limited by guarantee, because this is the nature of the company. The company may be limited by shares, company may be limited by guarantee, and in the case of unlimited companies. So in the case of company limited by guarantee, the amount guaranteed by each member of the company to be paid at the time of winding over the company, that amount must be mentioned in the A of the company and the M of the company. The guaranteed amount to be paid by him or her as a form of liability to be paid the case of in the event of winding up of the company or closing of the company, and every member is liable to contribute in the event of winding up. Up to the extent of amount he or she is guaranteed to pay in these particular events, which is given in liability clause of the memorandum. So, company limited by share, the majority of the companies belong to this category. In the case of such companies, the liability of member uh, is limited to the amount unpaid on the shares held by him, and if he has paid about the shares, his liability is nil. So, majority of the company belong to this category. In case of such company is limited by shares, or you can say if he has paid full amount in shares, his liability is nil. So nothing has to be paid by this members of the company who already paid amount in shares as due on him or her on their shares, and he or she doesn't have to pay the amount at the time of winding up or dissolution of the company, and his liability is nil to pay because he's already paid the amount due to him, or amount to one call in shares coming from the shares, already paid the total amount of shares due to him or her. In that case, if he or she is already paid, he has paid full amount of shares, his liability is nil. So the majority of the companies belong to this category, like public limited company, private limited company, they are belong to this category of shares. So because member capital contribution is there in the power shares. So the liability is only limited up to the extent of unpaid capital, unpaid amount of the shares. If it is already paid, then their liability to pay in the event of winding up or dissolution is nil. Then, according to Section 88, Section 1, every company shall keep and maintain the following registers as we prescribed, namely a register of members indicating separately to each class of equity and preference shares held by each member residing in or outside India. So this is Section 88. According to Section 88, Section 1, every company shall keep and maintain following registers as we prescribed as per the section. Number one is register of members indicating separately for each class of equity preference shares held by each member residing in or outside India. Uh, Number two, register of debenture holders, register of any other security holders of the company. Uh, so every company has to maintain proper books of accounts, proper registers, proper documents of register of members. So yeah, as a member, you have a right to inspect these documents. Whenever you require to see these documents, verify these documents, inspect these documents, you can inspect and verify documents with the company. Um, that is your right. You're entitled to as a member of the company, certificate members of the company. So every company should have to keep and maintain the following registers as it prescribed, namely register of members indicating separate to each class of petition holders of petition in the company held by each member residing in outside India. registered debenture holders, registered any security holders. Every registered maintained under subsection 1 shall include index of the names included therein, and registered index of beneficial owners maintained by a depository. So, registered index of beneficial owners are maintained by depository. That must be included, that must be a right as a member of the company to expect the registered index of beneficial owners are maintained by depository as a member of the company. So every register has to maintain such subsection 1 shall include a name of index of the names included in. So this is a section 88 section 1. Every company has to maintain records of and register as prescribed in the section. Number 1 is register of members, indicating separately for each class of the preference shareholders, equity shareholders held by each member, including residing in India and outside India. Register debenture holders and register any other security holders. So every register maintained under subsection 1 shall include index of the names included therein. Register index of beneficial owners are maintained by depository. So this is your right as a member of the company to verify, to inspect, to investigate the registered members, and to keep and maintain also. To keep and maintain registered members. That is also a right authority to maintain and keep a register of members of the company separately for each class of shares. Whether it is equity shareholders of the company, whether they are preference shareholders of the company, whether they are debenture holders of the company, it has to be prepared and kept. Whether they are security holders of the company, deposit holders of the company, deposit holders of the company, beneficial owners of the company, it has to be prepared, register has to be prepared as per this particular section of the Companies Act in respect of, this is also a official right, legal right of member to maintain, keep and maintain register of members. If a company does not maintain register of members as stated above, the company and every officer of the company, that is the penalty provisions are there, penal provisions are there in the Companies Act to members of the company, and every officer of the company is in default shall be punished with fine which shall not be less than 50,000 rupees, but which may extend to 3 lakh rupees, and with the failure is a continuous offence with further fine which may extend to 1,000 rupees for every day during which the failure continues. It is a penalty provisions for non-preparation of the registered members and the officers concerned who are default, have a default in preparation of the books or does not maintain registered members. Then company and every officer of the company, because company is not a person, the company is also liable to prepare, company is also bound to prepare, and company is also default in preparation of the books of accounts and registered members of the company. And every officer of the company is in default shall be punished with fine, which will not be less than 50,000 rupees, but which may extend to like rupees with the payments continuing offence, with a further fine which may extend to 1,000 rupees for every day during which the default continues. These are the penalty provisions, the penal provisions in the Companies Act in respect of non-preparation, non-maintenance of the register of members as member entitled to prepare these registers of member, and they're entitled to a right to keep and maintain and to inspect and investigate these registered members as on their demand requirements from the company, if it is company. This is a right available to members of the company, and with the further fine, if they are not preparing this register, they have to pay a further fine of 1,000 rupees for every day during which the failure continues. Then, as per companies management administration rules 2014 in this regard, the line provides as follows. Entries in the register maintained under section 88 shall be made within 7 days after the board of directors or its newly constituted committees approved the allotment and transfer of shares. So the entries in the register maintained under section 88 shall be made within 7 days after the BOD and its newly constituted committees approves the allotment and transfer of shares, and have to maintain proper register has to be maintained to record each and every transactions of allotment of shares, issue of shares, allotment of shares, transfer of shares, uh, forfeiture of shares, buyback of shares. That has to be recorded into the books of accounts of the company, the register of the companies, and it has to be kept with, maintained with within 7 days after the issue of notice to that effect by the duly constituted committee of the board. It must be recorded, it must be recorded, it must be recognized with the register of members of the company. And the place of keeping the register shall be maintained at the registered office of the company unless a special resolution is passed in general meeting uh, authorizing the keeping of the register at any place within the city, town, or village within which the registered office is situated, or any other place in India in which more than one type, tenth, or the total number of members entering the register of members reside. So, keeping place of keeping books of accounts of the company, important documents of the company, and reports of the company, auditors reports of the company, important documentary evidences of the company, bills of the company, cash memo of the company, bills receivable, other very important documents of the company, registered members of the company, to be kept at the registered office of the company, or any other place within the state or town where the registered office of the company is situated, in which more than one tenth of total members entered in the registered members site. The place of keeping a register shall be maintained at the registered office of the company unless a special resolution is passed in a general meeting authorizing the meeting keeping of the register at any other place within the city or town in which the registered office of the company is located, is situated, or any other place in India in which more than one tenth of the total number of members enter the register of members reside. So place of keeping is very important. Where you keep your documents, where you place your documents, important documents of the company, that is very important aspect of the register of members. Where it is kept, where it is maintained, kept, keeping as a record purposes, so that the members of the company, as on demand, as on requirement, can demand, can requesting the company, can demand the company for issue a copy of these documents to the member of the company as per these requirements to execute and inspect these documents. The place is very important. Where you place, where you keep records of your documents of the company, that place is very important. A copy of the minutes of the board, copy of your resolution, a policy meetings of the company. All these copies has been maintained in the register of minutes of the books in the register of meetings of the companies and all the copies, all the books, accounts, and reports of the company and returns of the company, uh, all the important documents, the bills of the company is kept to be secured, maintained at the registered head office of the company, main office of the company. Then change in the entries, changes on account of forfeiture, buyback, reduction, issue of certificate shares, transfer shares, shares issued under employee stock option scheme, etc. shall be recorded within 7 days after approval by the board or committee. So board or committee means committee of board of directors. The separate committees, board of directors, made for separate purposes, financial committee, investment committee, remuneration committee. There are separate committees for separate items of business to be constituted by the board for separate items of business. Then committee has to be formed by the board of directors based on the requirements of the company, and accordingly committee has been formed. Uh, or any changes in the entries on account of forfeiture of shares, on account of buyback of shares, on account of issue of certificate of shares, on account of transfer of shares, on account of shares issued under a price of option scheme shall be recorded within 7 days after the approval by the board of directors of the company or committees. The company shall make unnecessary entries in index simultaneously with the entries for allotment or transfer of any security in the register of members. So changes in the entries, changes in account of forfeiture, or any buyback of shares, or any issue of certificate of shares, or transmission of share, or shares issued under employee stock option scheme shall be recorded within 7 days after approval by the board or committee, and the company shall make necessary entries in index simultaneously together with the entry for allotments and transfer shares in the register of members. So you have to make proper records of these items in the register of members, and proper records of the changes in duties, changes in the amount, whether it is any addition of an amount, deletion of amount already paid by the members. So nothing is left in his or her balance to be paid in the during or at the time of binding of a dissolution of the company. Then the proper changes in the entries has to be made by the members of the company, whosoever are responsible for the uh, preparation of the records, making of records of the uh, register of members of the company in respect of these items of members of the company. The proper person has to be appointed or tries to keep records of these items in the register of members of the company. The name of the members is demat account holder, number of shares allotted to him, issue to him, and allotment of shares. Then subscribed capital, issued capital, paid up capital is here, non-paid up capital is here, called up capital, first point, second point is here. So everything has to be properly recorded in the books of accounts of the company. As a register of members of the company, any changes in the entries in respect of these items shall be thoroughly recorded within 7 days. That is time limit allotted to the uh, person concerned, officers concerned, who are responsible for the recording of the transactions in respect of changes in the entries in the of members of the company in the register of members of the company after duly approved by the board of directors of the company or committee of board of directors of the company. So accordingly, company has to record all the entries in the books of accounts and all the changes that has been made in that particular entries transaction in the books of accounts. It must be updated. Then, in case of shares held by a trustee, a declaration specifying the name and other particulars of the person who holds the beneficial interest in such shares must be filled with the company as per Rule 9 of the Company's Management Administration Rules 2014, and the said declaration shall be filled within a period of 30 days from the date on which his name is entered. So declaration specifying the name and other particulars of the person who holds the beneficial interest in such shares must be filed with the company. You have to declare that with your name and particulars of the person holding the beneficial interest in the company shares in such shares must be properly filed with the company as per this particular rule number 9 of the company's management administration rules 2014, uh, and that particular declaration must be filed within period of 30 days from the date on which his name is entered. So in the case of shares held by a trustee, you have to give a declaration in writing and your particulars in writing as a beneficial owner's interest in the company such shares and must be filed with the company as per Rule 9 of the company's management administration rules 2014. Said declaration shall be filed within 30 days from the date on which his name is entered. The penalty provisions are there, not maintaining the register of members. If the company doesn't maintain a register of members or fails to maintain in accordance with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, then in that case, consequences are there. Punishment is there, fine is there, and you have to go through the consequences of non-preparation, non-maintenance of the register of members, as per the provisions of the Companies Act. So the company and every officer of the company who is in default shall be punished with fine which shall not be less than 20,000 rupees, but which may extend to 3 lakh rupees. And when the failure is a continuous offense, with a further fine which may extend to 1,000 rupees every day during the first meeting, after the first during which the payment continues. Section 88 Subsection 5, this is about the register of members of the company. The failure to maintain register members of the company, the defaulters, the officers concerned would have a defaulting payment, default invitation of registered members shall be punishable with fine which shall not be less than 50,000 rupees but which may extend to 3 lakh rupees. And when the failure is continuous offense with a further fine which may extend to 1,000 rupees for every day after the first during which the criminal continues. Section 88 or subsection 5 of the Companies Act 2013, that is in respect of penalty provisions, penal provisions of the Companies Act in respect of not keeping, not maintaining register of members. Then, according to Rule 2, Rule 3, Section 2, every company not having share capital is required to maintain the register of members with the specified particulars in respect of each members, like personal details, name, address of the member, and date of becoming member, the date of cessation of member, amount of guarantee if any other interest if any, instructions given by member with regard to sending of notices, etc. Rule number 3 and section 2. These are the particulars to be recorded, should be mentioned uh, in the register of members, the details about the members, their name, their address, uh, the date of when they join, when they become the member of the company, the date of association of member of the company, amount of guaranteed by them, if any, amount of interest, if any, and instruction given by member with regard to sending a notice, etc. Then it points to be noted down as per Rule 2, Rule 3, Section 2, every company not having share capital is required to maintain register of members. They come to the conclusion. Understanding the rights and liabilities of members in the company is essential for effective governance, transparency, accountability. Members should be aware of their rights to participate in the decision-making process, access information, receive dividends, while also understanding their liabilities, such as fiduciary duties and potential personal liability, by being well informed, adhering to the obligations. Uh, Members can contribute to the overall success of the company while protecting their interest and minimizing legal risks. So, understanding the rights and liabilities of members in a company sanction for effective governance of the company, transparency of the company, accountability of the company. You should know your rights as a member of the company. You should know your liabilities as a member of the company, as a aware person, as a citizen of India, as a member of the company, it is your responsibility to know your rights, to know about your rights, authorities, and responsibilities, liabilities, and duties in the company. It is very essential for you for effective governance, corporate governance of the company, not to maintain transparency in the corporate affairs and accountability in the company, ensure accountability in the company or the members of the company towards the company, because an artificial person, company is an artificial person, member is a person, persons. To ensure accountability, you should understand to whom you are responsible, to whom you are accountable, to whom you are answerable, to whom you are reportable. That should you know as a member of the company. And members should be aware of their rights to participate in decision-making process, access information, receive dividends, while also understanding their liabilities, just fiduciary duties, potential personal liability. By being well informed adhering to their obligations, members can contribute to the growth and success of the company while protecting their interests and minimizing legal risks. The membership in a company involves both rights and liabilities, defining the scope of individual responsibilities, authority, and authorization. According to Companies Act 2013, individuals become legitimate members by subscribing to the memorandum, signing written agreements, or thorough shareholdings. So, membership in a company involves both rights and liabilities, defining the scope of an individual's responsibilities and authority within the organization. According to Companies Act 2013, individuals become legitimate members by subscribing to the memorandum, signing agreements, written agreements, or through shareholdings. Many rights to members have with the company, sit with the company, by subscribing to the memorandum of the company, signing written documents or agreements, or through shareholdings. These rights give members the ability to actively participate in the company affairs, promoting transparency, influencing its strategic direction, careful interplay of rights and liabilities, establishing a framework that shape the collaborative governance structure within the. These rights give members the ability to actively participate in the company affairs, promoting transparency, influencing its strategic direction, a careful interplay of rights and liabilities establishes a framework that shapes the collaborative governance structure with the company. Thank you. So by this, I went into the class. I hope you all understand the topic of rights, liabilities for members of the company, registered members of the company, penalty provisions are there, cognitive remarks is there,